Hey, yo, Dante, can you do me a favor? I'm recording right now, so could you yell out Dragon Squad, bitch? Dragon Squad, bitch. Get it!
Dragon Squad, bitch.
Wait, bro, I love this Ruby shirt, bro. This Ruby shirt hard as fuck. I ain't gonna lie to you, nigga. This Ruby shirt hard, nigga. Hey, hold on. Hey, yo, man, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, your host, Red Sky Dragon Squad. Hold on. Hey. Still a little bit sick. I had to run that bitch back twice. Still a little bit sick. But, hey, yo, man, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, your host, Red Sky Dragon Squad. Bitch, back here with another reaction. We back here with new rock stars. I ain't watched these niggas in a minute, bro. I was meaning to watch some niggas with the New Way Home jump, but speaking of No Way Home, that free reaction is free on my Patreon. Link in the description down below. What the fuck bit me on my fucking chin, nigga? But anyways, fucking Ghost Rider outside and shit, boy. Hey. This is obviously a fucking spoiler fucking video. Click off the fucking video, dickhead. Watch the fucking movie. Wanda is that fucking nigga, bro. Oh my, bro. This movie was a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. When I left it through, I said 10 out of 10, but I give 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It will be a 10 out of 10 if Wanda would have won in some capacity. Damn, that shit was fire, nigga. Hey, nigga, hold on, bro. She pulled up, bro. She dream walked into another multiverse, took control of a weaker version of herself, right? And killed the entire Illuminati. I knew it. Killed the entire Illuminati. Won't even her fucking universe, my nigga. Black Bolt? Oh yeah, that nigga can't fucking talk, nigga. That shit was fire! That shit was fire! Nah, that shit was fire. What mouth, nigga? What mouth, nigga? And then that nigga shit. I was like, oh my, bro. Turn that nigga Mr. Fantastic to some fucking Twizzlers, nigga. Get you the fuck out of here, nigga. You got a wife? Hey, you got kids? You got a wife? Oh yeah. Hey, at least somebody will be there to raise them. Oh my fucking god! Wanda's that nigga, bro. Hey, Wanda's that nigga, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Wanda's that guy, bro. Then she chopped my nigga Captain Britain in half. Fuck was you there? Chopped that nigga in half. Then she. Well, Photon, Maria Rambo, she ain't really, she dropped a statue on her. I don't think she did, but she dropped a statue on her. Mordo scary ass, he ain't want no smoke. That nigga stayed there restrained. He ain't want no smoke. Then my nigga Charles, dirty though, OG though. Damn, stop that nigga neck. That shit was fire too though. She keep from out the smoke. This movie was fire, bro. I ain't came for this movie to see no fucking Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange did do good though, cause I went to go see with my friend. She had already seen it prior, but she ain't seen the first 30 minutes. But she said it was ass, and in my head when she said that, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, Wanda beat Doctor Strange's ass, right? And she was like, LOL, yeah. Doctor Strange getting his ass whooped, but that nigga was pulling his weight though. He won't fucking with Wanda though. Wanda's that nigga though. But we about to get the new rock stars. If we have the break now. That was like just like my little quick shit that I really liked about the movie. Let's get into this shit though. Ear tools, spectacles. Let's run this whole shit though, man. Hey! The Illuminati pulled up all cool and shit. Just get that ass clapped, boy. Hey, at least them leaks weren't true about OBS start recording. Yeah, seriously, about them bringing Toby back to kill him. Wanda kills Toby. Yeah, I'm glad that shit ain't fucking happened. Well, fucking snap. Should have killed my nigga Charles though, to be honest, but
Welcome back
to New Rockstars. I'm Eric.
Yes, sir. My nigga boss. I see you in a minute, bro. What's good, bro?
A movie that teaches us all a valuable lesson about what happens when Marvel fans dream too big. The Scarlet Witch will break all your toys and make you watch. Director Sam Raimi gave us the MCU's first true horror film.
Yeah, that shit was fire. A lot of you. Sam Raimi, that nigga. Sam Raimi still got it, nigga. Sam Raimi still got it in the bag. In a Duffy.
In so many cool ways. So let's break down this movie scene by scene for the incredible attention to detail and
Talk to me.
layer of meaning that you might have missed. Also, we have a new Multiverse of Madness inspired latest Obsession shirt. It looks amazing. You gotta get your hands on that one over at newrockstarsmerch.com. So the Marvel Studios title card in this movie has been updated. The shots that previously showed in-game moments have all been replaced with Wanda's Scarlet Witch power-up and WandaVision, and various shots of Doctor Strange from the 2016 film Infinity War and Endgame. The final shot on the M of Marvel Studios is Strange's final scene in the 2016 film, but in the inner top of the R was Wanda's team up with her family in WandaVision. So this is actually the first time anything from a Disney Plus title has made it into the title card, just proving how important
I ain't noticed that shit
with their kids from that show is to this movie. Also,
yeah, if you ain't see WandaVision, nigga, you ain't know what the fuck was going on. My friend, she didn't see WandaVision. I kind of explained it to her a little bit, and she was like, "Oh, that made the plot make a little more sense." Yeah, cause if you was pop up and be like, "Who the fuck? What do you mean? Who the fuck are these kids, nigga? What?"
To note that behind.
And then, like, the whole thing in the movie, I was saying, bro, I'm like, bro, your kids are not real, bro. They're not real, nigga. They're fake. I knew it. It's fake. I knew it. Nah, that's funny.
With Oz the Great and Powerful playing, a 2013 movie also directed by Sam Raimi.
Oh shit, really?
Its witches definitely have parallels in this movie's story. I'll get to that later. But the film opens in the Gap Junction as Defender Strange races with America Chavez toward the Book of Ashanti, fleeing this ribbony monster marked with runes. Later we learn a puppet marionetted by the Scarlet Witch. America Chavez is a young multiverse hopper from the comics who comes from the utopian parallel, and you'll notice how the opening words exchanged in this film are in Spanish, underlining Chavez's role as the first Latina superhero of the MCU.
Not really though. We got Molly Hernandez. Runaways, nigga. Kevin, I'm telling you, Kevin, you bring Runaways and Cloak and Dagger back, same characters, nigga. It's fuck DC, nigga. I'm over with Marvel, nigga. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kevin. And with America Chavez as a character, you know, I mean, they pretty much led with the fact that she was, you know, a Latino superhero, but her parents were gay. Look, I got a problem with that because it's an original character, and I didn't hate her. I thought I wasn't gonna like her. I fuck with America Chavez. Now, did she really need to be there? Not really. She was kind of just there just to be there, but I didn't hate her being there though. Like, she kind of reminded me of Molly Hernandez. No racial, but she kind of reminded me of Molly Hernandez. So I kind of saw some Molly in her. So I'm like, you know, because Molly be punching and shit too. So yeah, it was. I really mind her though. But it would have been better if they replaced America Chavez with Nico Minoru. Hopefully she will be in that third Doctor Strange. I mean, her and Doctor Strange was in the Midnight Sun, so Doctor Strange do take her on as being her apprentice, and it would make sense because she actually deals with fucking magic. America Chavez shit ain't fucking magic, you know. So they would have had the magic connection. They would have had the Darkhold connection because Wanda's Darkhold was fake. As we know, there's 3 Darkholds. They had the one Wanda had, then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had a Darkhold, and then Runaways had a Darkhold. So that could have been another connection with the Darkhold. It could have been like, oh, well, yours is fake too. Yours is another copy too. You know, like maybe Wanda was trying to get Nico's Darkhold type shit to try and combine them, and then she finds out the bitches weren't even real. They were just copies type shit. Come on now. Representation too, because Nico's Asian. But I mean, I guess we already had the Asian representation with Shang-Chi, so he's trying to get Latina. But she's not just a regular Asian. She's a bisexual Asian too, nigga. Come on, man. And then you tie in the Runaways. Nigga, another... Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. But, hey, but Kevin Feige is slowly bringing in the other properties. He brought in some of the Netflix. He brought in the Inhumans. Now next you got to bring in the Runaways and Cloak and Dagger, and we Gucci. But he's been bringing them niggas in though. I fuck with it though, man.
As well as the first LGBTQ plus superhero. Her star.
And that's what they led with. She had no motivations. She didn't even want to get back to her parents. She was just trying to live, nigga. Her whole character was just trying to live and just cross over to the multiverse. That's what I'm saying. Nico would have been a better choice because, like, at least niggas are familiar with Nico. You feel me? Like, I don't know, bro. It should have made more sense. Her powers came because she got stung by a bee, bro. Bee girl.
A blazing jacket has a pride flag pin on it.
Yes, we know this, bro. I'm not. Yeah, we get it, bro.
Her jacket has also written the phrase "Amor es amor," Spanish for "love is love." Now, the Book of Vishanti, also from the comics, is a book of positive
Book of Vishanti, yep.
sharing its name with the seal of Vishanti, the shape formed by the window of the Sanctum Sanctorum. Now, the gap junction is later described as a space between universes, and here it's presented as a sacred church-like plane, but now in ruins.
And then it would have kind of brought the Runaways story together too, with the fact that, well, I mean, in the Runaways, how that season ended with, you know, them saving Gert, but if they didn't save Gert, Nico did go off to try and hold her magic, which would have made sense. But I guess as they saved Gert, there won't be no need for Nico to try and control her magic by herself. But she can still do that though, because they're actually in talks of making a Nico Disney Plus series. You ain't got to bring back the Runaways for real. Bring her back, and that would just be like, you know, when they brought Daredevil back. Them bringing back Daredevil and Kingpin solidified, okay, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, them niggas in the universe. And then you brought in Inhumans with Black Bolt. Okay, that just reinforces Black Bolt. You know, the Inhumans, them niggas are in some multiverse. Just bring back the actress of Nico. We Gucci.
As if the damage already done to the fabric.
Look at the staff of one. Like it just made more sense for Nico.
On this place. And this week, Marvel head Kevin Feige confirmed that the multiversal crises of those titles directly set the stage for the crisis of this film. The platform with the book on it has 16 walkways converging out from it, many of them broken off. A cool way of showing how all the universes that connect to this are all back doors leading to this one book, but many of those universes and those pathways have crumbled and eroded. Now, Defender Strange seems at first like the gallant to the goofus that we've known, multilingual, only using defensive spells like freezing and binding, hair tied back in a ponytail like the chillest barista ever. But we learn the constant among all Stranges, a willingness to sacrifice friends. In this case, America. He says, "This is the only way." And in the grand calculus of the multiverse, your sacrifice before it gets cut off. Both of these lines being callbacks, linking this Strange variant to our Doctor Strange, who after sacrificing the Time Stone to Thanos Infinity War told Tony Stark,
"There was no other way."
And recently in Spider-Man No Way Home told these exact words to Peter Parker in relation to the deaths of Norman Osborn and the rest being necessary.
In the grand calculus of the multiverse, their sacrifice means infinitely more than their lives.
But a fatally wounded Defender Strange tumbles with America through a star portal, and the camera
got stabbed in his gut.
And director of photography John Matheson rotate in a really fun way so that we wake up with our Doctor Strange in bed having seen all of this as a dream. Now this movie actually defines all of dreams as us seeing into the lives of our multiversal selves, a concept that has been explored in real-world metaphysics, but in the MCU poses some interesting questions. Were the nightmares Wanda gave the Avengers in Age of Ultron visions of other universes? Tony's dream that he told Pepper about in Infinity War?
Last night, I dreamt. We had a kid. So real. We named him after your eccentric uncle. What was his name?
Right.
Morgan.
Of course, they would eventually have a kid named Morgan, so Tony's dream there likely was an alternate universe. So Strange glances over at his broken wristwatch, the one from the 2016 film given to him by Christine Palmer and broken by robbers outside Camartage, a watch face that he left broken.
Then they got his ass beat. Hell no.
The mystic and mental over the physical. In this film, the watch symbol evolves to symbolize his forever broken relationship with Christine and how that's actually over.
That's crazy though, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Bro, that nigga, bro, she not your girl no more. You didn't, y'all ain't talked for how long? And then you pull up to her wedding just for her to be married to a black guy. She getting blacked every night, nigga. BBC. Big black cock.
Hey, Strange uses magic to tie his tie, a reminder that his hands are still damaged from his accident in the 2016 film. His hands truly are his unhealable wound. At the wedding, he passes this mom with 2 sons. Just a little echo of the conflict that he's about to face with Wanda, trying to reunite with her sons, who are roughly the same age. Dr. Nick West returns to the 2016 film and reveals
bro.
in the blip.
See, bro, it's been 6 fucking years, nigga. See, that was kind of a problem too. It's been 6 years. I don't even remember that nigga. I only remember Christine. That's the only person I remember.
And, oh yeah, a brother too.
That's tough.
There could have been any other path Strange might have taken in Infinity War, and by having to think about this, Strange faces that his sacrifice play of the Time Stone, while it eventually led to the Avengers being able to fix things, sort of, in Endgame, it also left survivors living with the emotional toll of that conflict. And in Wanda's case, Thanos using that same Time Stone to render her heartbreaking killing of Vision meaningless. Strange turns a glass of water into wine, friggin'
Well, he's Jesus, bro.
Also reminding us of when he refilled Thor's beer mug in Ragnarok. Really the best way to use magic, if you ask me. Strange apologizes, saying that he made sacrifices to protect Christine, but that he's glad she's happy. Really, this whole movie is a tug of war between sacrifice
Not really.
and happiness on the other. Our heroes begin this movie thinking that sacrifice comes at the cost of personal happiness, but must learn by the end of the film that sacrifice and what we think we want is really how we find deeper fulfillment and inner peace. Strange hears a commotion outside and tugs his red pocket square, revealing it as his cloak of levitation.
That's
I
our...
can't believe the shit I got in trailer breakdowns for theorizing that pocket square was his cloak. I love how he summons it in freefall, making
Yeah, that was hard. I think it jumped off the
Tony
rail
Stark
and shit.
caught by the
Yeah.
Mark 7 armor while falling in the Avengers film. Now, this beast is initially invisible, similar to how the supernatural forces of Moon Knight are initially invisible to onlookers, but Strange decloaks it to reveal the squid monster of Gargantos, a lesser-known comics foe to Namor the Submariner. And I love how the animators use his single eye to characterize him. His surprise when Strange dismantles the bus, his eyelid
Like, hey yo, boy, like, hey yo.
dilation when Strange severs his tentacle, and of course the look of oh shit when the eye is about to get skewered. Now Danny Elfman's score charges this whole film with a madcap, feverish energy, and here he uses some great horns. Evoking Masorgi's Night on Bald Mountain, aka the Fantasia devil music.
Oh yeah, oh, that's hard. Oh yeah, that's it hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, that's it hard. Yeah, yes sir. That's it hard. Yeah.
Has an ad for La Llave Coffee, unlock a better day. La Llave being Spanish for key, a hint at Strange's upcoming quest to use his watch to unlock the back door, and also this Spanish-speaking
Might be a stretch,
being the key
but
to
no, might be a
also
stretch.
nearby is an ad for the magic of celestial tea, and when Strange jumps on a taxi, there's a sign behind him for Stan Lee's, which might be a nod to Stan Lee, whose real name was Stanley Lieber, and the 2008 Hulk movie paid tribute to him with Stan Lee's pizza. Wong shows up to try to restrain Gargantos. Gargantos uses one of his suction cuffs to detach his kunai, maybe showing how he does have some defensive moves against the kinds of attacks Namor might hit him with. He scales the building, Sam Raimi evoking his sequence with Doc Ock scaling the building in 2004's Spider-Man 2. Meanwhile, back at the wedding, behind Christine and Charlie is a cameo by this movie's screenwriter, Michael Waldron. Strange uses his giant remote hands to use a lamppost to javelin Gargantos in the eye and then pops that eye out.
That shit was crazy.
Looking a lot like Sam Raimi's hilarious flying eyeball in Evil Dead 2.
What the
Strange
fuck?
and Wong
What
mentioned
the
their recent
fuck?
deal with Spider-Man
Sam, what the fuck?
in No Way Home, and America asks if he shoots webs out of his butt, referencing how Tom Holland Peter and Andrew Garfield Peter were both pretty grossed out by how Tobey Maguire Peter's webbing came out of his body, a production design choice that was actually made by Sam Raimi in that initial series.
Like, does it just come out of your wrists, or?
Wait, you know what? You said a poor choice? Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Organic web fluid superior than them little weak ass web shooters. Not gonna lie to you.
Does it come out of anywhere else?
Only the wrists.
Now, wait, didn't Strange and Wong forget about everything after that movie's final memory wipe spell? Well, not exactly.
They just forgot about Peter.
They forgot who Peter Parker is. They still remember a masked Spider-Man being part of their history. Like, notice here, they never call him Peter Parker and aren't really sure how his webbing works, just for the proof that he's just back to being a stranger to them. But they still know of a Spider-Man existing in this universe. America shows them Defender Strange's corpse on the Sanctum roof, and Strange buries him up there, saying that he's, quote, buried worse, and I'm dying to know
Hey,
who else in
whoa, what the
Strange's
fuck?
life that he
That boy
is
got bodies like that?
aware. Now, they realized that the matching runes on the two beasts was witchcraft, and so we returned to Wanda's kitchen in Westview using the same WandaVision Episode 2 Bewitched-inspired intro music just composed by the Lopez's. In this kitchen, they have a
They
hamster
did?
cage
Oh, I didn't
named
notice that.
Max, maybe short for Maximoff, replacing poor Sparky the dog.
Ah,
Billy and
damn.
Tommy return here, back to wearing the same red and green colors as Wiccan and Speed do in the comics. Wanda wakes up from this dream alone in her bed, and I love how the warm
Oh, Fall
golden
Guys.
color of the room shifts to a colder gray.
I ain't gonna lie, in the theater, when she was so happy, and then that shit switched to this scene, and you remember how that shit was silent, I laughed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I need to chill out, bro. I'll be laughing in the most serious moments. Like, them niggas ain't real, boy.
Then Wanda prunes branches in an apple orchard. Just really cool symbolism here. She says apples eventually, as they haven't yet borne fruit, as her efforts to produce a life with her sons has also been fruitless. She prunes errant branches, paralleling the ways He Who Remains in the TVA would prune branch timelines to exert control over the multiverse. Kind of like how Wanda has been using the Darkhold to X off universes without her sons in them. And these being apples definitely reminds us of the poisoned apple of the Witch Queen of Snow White, which actually gets a cameo later on in this film. Strange says the flowers smell real, and Wanda claims she put reality warping witchcraft behind her after Westview, yet even here the simulation seems real enough to nearly fool Strange.
That shit fooled that nigga. If she wouldn't have slipped up, that nigga would have left there not knowing anything.
That is theories.
Got his ass.
Dangerous.
And then she drops the branches in a crate labeled Volkers or Volkers. Now in the comics, Wendell Volker is an academic who, along with Reed Richards, discovers that Baron Zemo has traveled back in time in a 2007 Thunderbolt story. I don't know, maybe this is on a Sokovian estate that Wanda has overtaken temporarily, somewhere close to that mountain cabin we saw her in. Wanda says there are other Avengers, and Strange mentions the Archer with the Mohawk and several bug-themed crime fighters, of course referring to Hawkeye, Ant-Man, the Wasp, Spider-Man, and possibly now the Scarlet Scarab from Moon Knight. And he says,
Get you back on the lunchbox.
Probably not talking about the Scarlet Scarab, but hey, that shit was fire. Speaking of which, Moon Knight, my full season of Moon Knight reactions was free on the Patreon. What YouTuber you know dropping free shit on the Patreon? You gotta pay for everything. You don't know one. Go check this shit out, nigga. That and Peacemaker was free too.
There actually is a vintage Marvel Superheroes lunchbox with Spider-Man, Cap, and Thor on the front, Fantastic Four on the back, and on the sides, Scarlet Witch, Daredevil, and Yellow Jacket. Wanda mistakes using America's name when Strange hadn't yet. So she drops the illusion, that red hex looking just as it did when it warped the structures of Westview and WandaVision. Yeah. All of this coming from the Darkhold, Marvel's Book of the Damned, which Wanda got from the witch Agatha Harkness in WandaVision. This whole dead landscape is likely near that mountain cabin. From the WandaVision post-credit scene, all the plants now rotting more and more as the Darkhold corrupts the landscape. And actually, in the background of this burnt orchard are the ruins of some structure. That was probably what the large house was when the illusion was up. That structure might be the cabin she was in the WandaVision post-credit scene. Wanda's Scarlet Witch wardrobe has evolved since we last saw it in WandaVision.
My girl Agatha's sexy ass.
Heart region, showing how her fracturing of reality all stems from a broken heart. And the stitching on her collar leaves an opening in the shape of Vision's Mind Stone, reflecting how that heartbreak began when she had to shatter her love's mind in Infinity War. Wanda says America's sacrifice would be for the greater good.
No, what is for your kids, nigga?
Their enemies, but it's also essentially what Defender Strange told America. So when Wanda criticizes Strange for giving up the Time Stone in Infinity War,
that was different.
Render her heartbreaking sacrifice to her vision pointless. She's totally right. Strange is a hypocrite.
That doesn't seem fair.
Back at Camertage, Wong is...
Nah, it is fair. You wanna know why? Because you did take over an entire town, first of all, and you about to kill a kid. You about to kill a kid you don't even know, and you're gonna kill a kid that probably had parents. Yeah, they had parents. You're gonna kill a kid that had parents. So you're gonna take a kid away from her parents, and you're gonna take a parent away from her kids just because you want kids that you didn't even get to have yet, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. You're not the hero. You're a villain, but you're that guy though. You're that nigga. Yeah. I fuck with you though. Heavy though. Tough. Yeah.
Recalling what Agatha read from the Darkhold.
Your power exceeds that of the Sorcerer Supreme. It's your destiny to destroy the world.
Camertage mounts its defenses. Master Amir returns in the 2016
I should have watched WandaVision
Sarah,
before
based
this.
on Wong's romantic partner of Sarah Wolf in the comics. And the Minotaur Sorcerer.
Wong was hitting those?
Also from the comics.
That boy was
Sorcerers
buns.
from the Hong Kong and London sanctums joined them. Remember, the 2016 film established the three sanctums of Earth being in New York, London, and Hong Kong. And behind that one guy, the portal to London has one of the city's signature red phone booths, because that always means London. Wanda arrives with a dark cloud, similar to the Wicked Witch of the West attack on the Emerald City, writing "Surrender, Dorothy," and smoke. This being another witch demanding the magic girl from another reality give herself up so she can use her in her quest to power. Actually, you can map this whole movie over the Wizard of Oz. The shots of them running along a brick road, Defender Strange being the brainless scarecrow who ends up wobbling around puppeted, Our Strange, the heartless tin man who cuts, Wong, the lion who gets his nerve, the Illuminati, of course, the great and powerful Oz, ultimately proving to be total liars, Variant Christine, Glinda the Good Witch, who ultimately teaches
Fuck was Professor X doing at the battlefield though, boy. You was not fighting them. Thanos.
Wizard of Oz is one of the coolest, scariest, and most visually inventive films of all time. Any multiverse movie is right to follow its lead. Wanda probes the Camartage barrier and then finds a sneakier way in by whispering into the mind of one sorcerer, similar to how
Avengers throwback. Yeah, I saw that shit. That was a Avengers throwback. I fuck with that.
Just freaking them out. She blasts the hell out of Camartage.
Fuck them
all
niggas
its
up.
artillery and its archers, leaving one poor sorcerer in pain that she just obliterates.
Damn.
Which seems cruel at first, but the guy was also in a lot of pain. You could also read as an act of mercy. Strange traps Wanda in a mirror.
Nah, she murked that nigga straight up.
Down with mechanical music box music until the shards jab out at her. At this point, Wanda's fingertips have turned black, the way Agatha's did in WandaVision when she used magic derived from the Darkhold. They retreat into the inner chamber where the camera glides and distorts as doors slam. Raimi shoots all of this with the same claustrophobia and external evil trying to break in that made the Evil Dead so fun. And like the possessed woman there, we only see the demon hands reaching up to grab people, which is also the kind of imagery Raimi used to drag me to hell. Strange realizes Wanda's using reflective surfaces to get in, and as they rush to cover each mirror and puddle on the first one that Strange covers.
Yes, to cover every puddle. They covered every puddle. But America Chavez saw one small puddle and she was like, ooh, what's this? Nigga, cover it up. What are you doing? That shit was stupid. They had to do that, bro. Like, that just made her look fucking stupid. They could have covered every puddle and then they might have missed one that she could have came out of. That would have been better than America Chavez being fucking retarded and seeing the fuck. Like, come on, bro.
Just a few frames, Raimi sneaks in one of Wanda's eyes glaring up at Strange.
Oh shit, I ain't see that.
Wanda's eye returns to scare America, and then her hand reaches out through the gong,
bro,
and she crawls in with distorted limbs, looking like the
that shit was hard, bro. That shit was hard too.
Similar to when Supreme Strange absorbed and weaponized in What If Episode 4, and Wanda begins to drain America's power, so Strange dives into America, and they tumble through the multiverse, and it is insane. They pass a dimension with 3 cloaked heads. These are the faces of the Living Tribunal, the ultimate legal cosmic entity in Marvel lore who oversees natural law of the multiverse. They pass a dimension with 3 cloaked heads.
Oh shit. Hey yo! Them niggas like, what the fuck going on? That nigga like, hey yo!
Legal cosmic entity in Marvel lore who oversees natural law of the multiverse, with 3 faces representing necessity, equity, and revenge. I like how here they are not on the same head, just 3 different heads.
3 different heads,
Only
yeah.
This universe in the...
But they all got their eyes open though. They all got their eyes open though. What the fuck?
4th dimensional space shows how they look for a 4th dimensional being. In the Infinity Gauntlet comics, the Living Tribunal acquitted Thanos for snapping away half of all life, and the Infinity War writer said that they actually drafted a scene where Strange and Thanos would have faced the Living Tribunal during their wizard duel. Then they enter this cosmic realm with all these curved paths that snake back toward a glowing source. Kind of looks like a mix of the Celestials, World Forge, and Eternals, but I think we might be seeing Cerebro, Professor X's famous way of connecting with all the minds of mutants. Then they fall through a freaking beam.
I'm back. That could be Cerebro. Yeah, that could be Cerebro.
World Forge and Eternals? But I think we might be seeing Cerebro, Professor X's famous way of connecting with all the minds of mutants. Then they fall through a freaking beehive filled with bees lined with honeycomb. Now we later learned in this movie it was a bee.
Sweeter than a honey on a honeycomb. Sweeter than a honey on a honeycomb.
Landing on America's finger that first triggered her fear and opened
that's what I'm saying. Boy, you let a bee kill your parents.
Is this what
L origin story.
From WandaVision were all about? Can someone tell me, please?
Probably.
Underwater beside a coral reef, and some of those fish swim out with them back in the open air New York, where they pass taxis with the ads Grindhouse Releasing, which is a company that remasters cult films that partnered with Sam Raimi to restore The Evil Dead, and it's run by Bob Murawski, who also edited this movie. The next universe is a grid of techie tubes. It's actually filled with Stark drones from Spider-Man Far From Home. Perhaps it's a reality where they overthrew humanity. Then a hellish space filled with bones. True fire and brimstone here. Strange runs into a pile of skulls. Other skeletons are climbing lampposts.
Ghost Rider.
Spines. All the buildings are made of bones.
Okay, no.
I mean, I would say this is just the MCU hell. But this
Mephisto.
movie also shows multiple possible hells. And Moon Knight did just explain that the MCU afterlives of the Egyptian underworld and the Wakandan ancestral plane are actually part of the same realm, just subjectively taking the form of whatever the believer believes. So these various hells might be part of that same belief-oriented afterlife system. Next, a universe with a T-Rex fighting a Triceratops. Then an animated universe with some goofy marching band music. Now, this is not exactly the animated style file from What If, and they do pass that Jonas and James sign, so this is actually the same spot where they fought Gargantos. Then this interesting reality with the wreckage of some propeller plane with green flames. I don't know, I thought maybe this could be the Valkyrie plane from the first Cap film if it had made it to its intended target of New York. Then a reality where everything takes a cubic form. I just love how the break line between the blocks separates on the teeth of Strange's open mouth. Then they shift into sloshing paint, a reality where America says she's been trapped
Boy, in Splatoon.
before, making it really hard to eat. Then, I love this, an old-timey film desaturated with wear on the celluloid, showing 1930s New York, Model T's the Brooklyn Bridge in a blimp overhead. This is the world that Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes grew up in. Then this interesting alien setting that also looks a bit ancient, because it includes a Stonehenge configuration. Now remember, Thor the Dark World suggested Stonehenge was part of a coordinate layout to try
Boy, got his cock and balls out.
This is the alien society who helped lay out those coordinates. Then two more futuristic-looking realities. Then a rocky volcanic setting with lava rivers looking a lot like Mustafar from the Star Wars universe. Actually, in a similar montage in What If Episode 8, Ultron Infinity and the Watcher, that also looked a lot like Mustafar. And they land in Dimension 838, a utopian Manhattan covered with plant life and wind turbines, all built into the skyscrapers. The Empire State Building has a waterfall coming from it. This actually seems like the direction 616 Manhattan was going in the MCU, with Far From Home revealing a new atrium constructed into the Avengers Tower, and various Fantastic Four hints at the ground level. All the advances of this reality were almost certainly innovations of Reed Richards. They're on the roof of the 838 Sanctum. You can actually see the same greenhouse and mound where Defender Strange was buried back in 616. Strange said he had been on weird trips before, of course referring to the similar multiverse montage from the 2016 film.
Oh, I thought that nigga meant acid.
Is really cool. All the citizens wear monochromatic
Niggas at Woodstock. Nigga was definitely at Woodstock.
Functionality of the society, emphasis on natural beauty over the artificial kind of beauty of fashion, and just visually for the sequence, it helps Strange and America stick out like sore thumbs here. Also, a little detail I thought was interesting. If you look around, pretty much everyone is carrying an umbrella that might be connected to those rainbow-colored clouds overhead, which might be an indicator that in this universe, rain and weather patterns are actually artificially controlled, scheduled on clockwork, coordinated by Reed Richards, maybe by Aurora Monroe's storm as well. Measures that they take to help combat climate change, ensure plant life is properly hydrated, and the people who live here just kind of have to deal with rain being part of their lives all the time. Of course, the traffic colors are reversed: green for stop, thus the X's; red for go, thus the arrows.
That's stupid as fuck.
Proceeds on red when we would stop does foreshadow how the foolish Illuminati is gonna proceed on the Scarlet Witch when they definitely should not. Our man Bruce.
That shit was funny. Them niggas was talking all that shit. Man, we can handle your little Scarlet Witch. Nigga, can you? Well, it won't even hurt for real.
Campbell cameos. Sam Raimi's star from the Evil Dead films, who cameoed in all three of the Spider-Man movies. And all those characters were actually planned to be Mysterio, Quentin Beck, in Sam Raimi's fourth Spider-Man film before Sony canceled it. Here Campbell's playing Pizza Papa, a vendor who sells pizza balls.
Pizza balls sound kind of hard though, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Strange curses his hand to punch himself in the face for 3 weeks.
That's fucked up. 3 weeks is crazy.
In Evil Dead 2, a memory lane bank reveals the flashbacks of Christine giving Steven that watch, and America's origin losing her mothers in the utopian parallel. But in the comics, this was not America's fault, or even the Bee's fault.
Yeah, it kind of was, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Themselves and ended up disintegrating to becoming part of the universe. But here in the MCU, it's hinted that her moms might still be alive. So they arrive at the 838 Sanctum and the statue of Supreme Strange, which is
the only reason why she was there was for representation and for Wanda to well we had to care about her because her only power was the fact that it was what Wanda so happened to have only needed, and thus highlighting her representation. That's the only reason why he was in the film. Like I said, Nico, Minoru, and like I said, I ain't sure about the representation because I'm saying I want Nico in that bitch, but I want Nico in that bitch because Runaways. Yes, sir. That's what he's talking about. But Kevin, bring that shit. Yeah. But it just narratively would have made more sense for Nico to be in that bitch, and it's still representation. She might not be Nico might not be 100% gay, but and we already got an Asian in the MCU, but still, like, Still could have brought her in though.
Built out into the street from the sidewalks, the cars have to go around it and all look at it.
That's kind of stupid.
The plaque reads, Dr. Stephen Strange gave his life defeating Thanos. We express eternal gratitude to Earth's mightiest hero. Earth's mightiest hero, of course, the nickname for the Avengers in comics. There's a rare bookshop on the other side of the street called McCloud's, which could be a nod to comics writer Bob McCloud, who co-created the New Mutants with Chris Claremont. Mordo returns to the 2016 film. Strange says Mordo dedicated his life to trying to kill him, referring to that movie's post-credit scene where Mordo turned against all sorcerers.
Too many sorcerers.
We never got to see any real conflict between
You know?
them since that moment.
Facts.
Mordo confirms Darkhold exists in every universe and explains the concept of dream walking, projecting one's consciousness into
That's a
one's
bad
alternate
wig, though.
self. And over this, Raimi shows cross-dissolving montages of Wanda's ritual. The visuals evoke the dream sequence of Rosemary's Baby. There's surrealism, superimposed shots, close-ups of the eyes.
Yeah.
What up, Danny Elfman scores this with rock? You hear some drums, electric guitar. Really, this is a sound of witchcraft in the 90s to me, like The Craft, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I very much dig it. But Mordo drugged the tea with green powder that also powers the cuffs, called the Sands of Nisanti.
Boy K rolled that nigga drink, didn't he? Boy sipping green.
3 minutes. Wanda dream walks into another universe's Westview house. The camera voyeuristically glides in and peeks out from behind the staircase. These point of view shots evoking John Carpenter's opening shots of Halloween. The way Wanda creeps in here is very much like a stalker, like Michael Myers. Now, Billy and Tommy are watching on the TV a black and white cartoon of Oswald and Hortensia, a 1928 Walt Disney short called The Skyscrapers. Now, Walt Disney made Oswald shorts for Universal before a contract dispute led to him launching Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie. So Oswald has actually gained a cult following over the years as the Mickey who could have been. And I just love how he shows up here in this alternate universe. Now, secret cameos and surprise twists are pleasant surprises when you're watching a new Marvel movie, just like getting a discount code on your online shopping is a welcome surprise. And that's where today's sponsor,
Appreciate you for the sponsor.
Working paint is still frozen mid-spill. The Flash new rock stars so they know that I sent you. And thanks, honey, for sponsoring today's video.
Thanks, honey.
Wanda turns to stare at her, especially creepy since the champagne is still frozen mid-spill. The peas roll around on the plate, evoking the way the food squirmed around in the kitchen in Poltergeist. An ocean churns in the coffee cup, an early sign of the incursions that Dream Walking risks. An ocean similarly crashed through the post-incursion universe of Sinister Strange. And Dream Walking Wanda takes control of this Wanda, giving us this chilling moment when Elizabeth Olsen looks directly at
the camera,
breaking the fourth wall, as if to tell
that shit was hard, nigga. I ain't gonna lie. That shit was hard.
We've seen the closing shots of horror films like Psycho and Paranormal Activity. Sarah breaks Wanda out
that shit hard, I ain't gonna lie.
by stabbing the Darkhold.
That was kind of lame, bro. Like, bro, to stab the Darkhold, bro. It would have made more sense if Wong would have made some shake. We thought you was dead, shorty. You might as well just stay down there, to be honest with you.
Wanda turns to torturing Rintra and the others to get Wong to confess that the Darkhold was actually a copy of the spells carved into the walls of the temple on Mount Wundagore, which in the comics is a place where the demon Cthulhu inscribed the spells that were eventually drafted in the Darkhold book. This is also the mountain where, in some comics, Wanda and Pietro were actually born in the castle of the High Evolutionary. We got a nod to that comic backstory in WandaVision with the sighting of Bova Milk, Bova being one of the High Evolutionary's Annie-men who nursed Wanda.
That boy fucking a cow?
Mountain is where Cthulhu initially cursed Wanda as a baby, though in the 616 MCU, WandaVision established that she was born to Irina and Oleg Maximoff in Sokovia. Though, in that flashback, Wanda showed she already had, as a girl, low-level probability hex capabilities. So, it remains to be seen if the MCU will trace that back to Cthulhu's curse, or if they're going to define Wanda as a mutant, or both. Wong takes Wanda to that temple, where the walls are carved to look exactly like the Scarlet Witch page of the Darkhold that we saw in WandaVision Episode 9. This temple's guarded by hulking creatures that may be based on the N'Garai, Cthulhu's elder spawn minions from the comics, but when they take a knee, Wanda realizes that the chamber isn't a tomb, but a throne. The altar she stands on.
Them niggas was fucking useless.
Same horned head figure as we saw on the Darkhold cover.
They got their ass
This is
body.
the horned form of Cthulhu from the comics. Meanwhile, Variant Christine explains that they are in Dimension 838, and she has designated Strange's home universe as 616. 616 is the numerical designation of the primary universe in the comics, and until now, the MCU has really been considered Earth 19999999, based on a joke by Kevin Feige that he planned for the MCU to run for that many years, but now it is firmly codified as 616, which was hinted at in the TVA's film strip in Loki Episode 1, and an Easter egg on a storage locker in Endgame, and interestingly, Mysterio's line from Far From Home.
There are multiple realities, Peter. This is Earth, Dimension 616. I'm from Earth 833.
Now, Quentin Beck was lying in that moment.
Oh,
he was reciting
gotcha.
a script written by Guterman, so it's just a total uncanny coincidence that they chose the correct numerical designation. Maybe Guterman is a TVA agent. No, probably not. Now, Christine compares 616 Steven to 838 Steven using his hand injuries. The kind of
That boy got the
fingerprint. So, like for Peter Parker,
boy got jazz
Peter
hands.
and the with great power quote are absolute constants for those variants. Their hand injuries are constant. And on that screen, you can see Steven's cell is D23, which is a Disney Easter egg. D for Disney, 23 for 1923, the year Walt Disney founded his animation studio. Christine says that this is the Baxter Foundation, a nod, of course, to the Baxter Building, headquarters of the Fantastic Four in the comics. Strange speculates that this could be part of the Avengers or S.H.I.E.L.D. or Hydra. Hydra was an organization that was tracking Strange since 2014's Captain America Winter Soldier.
What targets? You, Bruce Banner, Stephen Strange, anyone who's a threat.
That being the first time we heard Stephen Strange's mission in the MCU. But Mordo declares,
the Illuminati will see you now.
The Illuminati in the Marvel Comics is a 6-member group of leaders representing different super factions. You got Tony Stark, leader of the Avengers, Charles Xavier, leader of Mutant Kind, Reed Richards, leader of the Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, Black Bolt, leader of the Inhumans, and Namor, King of Atlantis. As is the case here, though, their meddling often gets in their own way. Serving the Illuminati are these Ultron sentries, which are actually voiced by actor Ross Marquand, who voiced Ultron in What If and Red Skull. Now,
that sounds just like that nigga though, yeah.
And the interior is modeled on the lobby of the British Museum of London. Mordo introduces the 838 Illuminati lineup, including himself, naming himself Baron Carl Mordo, the character's name from the comics. Strange dodges the Union Jack shield of Captain Carter, leader of the 838 Avengers.
That shit was hard. It was good seeing her back.
What If. So presumably there are other Avengers in this 838 universe. Then there's Captain Marvel, Maria Rambeau, Defender of the Cosmos, Lashana Lynch returning from the 2019 Captain Marvel film, presumably from a history where Maria, not Carol Danvers, was irradiated by that Lightspeed engine. Then Black Agara Boltagun, aka Black Bolt, leader of the Inhumans and keeper of the Terrigen Mist, on some mount reprises the role from ABC's short-lived Inhuman series. Now, Inhumans are superpowered genetic experiments created by the Kree who live on the moon. Black Bolt's voice releases a powerful sonic blast, so the guy rarely talks. Here, he's seen with his tuning fork headgear from the comics. Terrigen Mist, meanwhile, is the Kree technology that creates Inhumans via cocoon. We actually saw this process with Quake in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Terrigen Mist may tie into Miss Marvel, since that is how Kamala Khan gets her powers in the comics, though the Disney Plus series may be going in a different direction. Then of course, Reed Richards, aka the
That shit was hard. I thought it was gonna be my mans from the original joint though, but hey, it was him. Hey, the niggas was saying they wanted him to be it, but hey, that shit was lit. They came, every time everybody came on screen, that shit was lit, boy.
By Fancast Dreamboat, John Krasinski. I like how he teleports in via the square portal, which is a completely new kind of tech than we've seen in the MCU. Seems very much like the kind of tech Richards and Dr. Doom used in the comics. Strange asks if the Fantastic Four, quote, charted in the 60s, of course, comparing them to the Beatles, similar to the way Bruce Banner talked about the Avengers and Infinity War.
Broke up. Like a band? Like the Beatles?
And the way Toby and Andrew thought the Avengers was a band in No Way Home.
Wait, you don't have the Avengers? Is that a band? Are you in a band?
Now, Strange is probably just joking, but Ant-Man director Peyton Reed did pitch doing a Fantastic Four movie set in the 60s, like the Beatles movie A Hard Day's Night, and many of us have speculated that the Fantastic Four could have existed in the 60s of the 616 MCU, contemporaries of a younger Hank Pym, the way that in the Silver Age comics, the Fantastic Four and Hank Pym Ant-Man all kind of work together. Now, Reed explains that Strange's arrival at 838 risks an incursion.
That's a hard-ass suit, though.
For when universes collide, like a series of
the
incursions.
X-Men suit's gonna be fire.
Ultimate's universe of 1610, the universe of Miles Morales, is what led to the 2015 Secret Wars event, when all these variant heroes and villains met in Doctor Doom's Battle World, which is why many believe that the MCU might be headed toward a similar event in a 5th Avengers crossover film, the villain of which, in this case, might be Kang the Conqueror. Because we saw what may have been incursions in the MCU in Miss Minute's intro video in Loki Episode 1, and Kevin Feige just confirmed that Loki and Sylvie killing that Kang variant, He Who Remains, led to the sacred timeline unraveling into various incursions, and that's really what set the stage for the crisis of this movie. And remember, the original Kang variant, Nathaniel Richards, was a 31st century descendant of Reed Richards, so really this is all connected.
What?
Of course, the 6th member of this Illuminati floats in, Professor Charles Xavier, with Patrick Stewart returning.
That shit was fire!
Of Reed Richards, so really this is all connected. And of course, the 6th member of this Illuminati floats in, Professor Charles Xavier.
That shit was
Patrick
fire,
Stewart,
bro.
returning for the Fox X-Men franchise.
We should tell him the truth.
But rather than the exact character from those films, which do have their own convoluted timeline in which Charles dies in Logan, this Charles has a yellow hover chair, a
like for the comics,
blue and black tie, looking exactly as he does in the 90s.
Yes.
If you listen closely, the music of this moment is Ron Wasserman's theme music from that series. Also, when the introduce Captain Carter, they bring in Alan Silvestri's Captain America theme. Now, there is one more chair that's left empty on this Illuminati dais, suggesting some past 7th member, or just an extra chair that they keep open. Now, those Ultron sentries might suggest a variant Iron Man.
Yeah, probably
since
Iron
it was
Man.
his tech that led to this appearance of Ultron in the 616 MCU. Then again, in the comics, it was Hank Pym who created Ultron, so that 7th seat could be his. But also in the comics, the Illuminati originally reached out to T'Challa, the Black Panther, who ended up deciding not to join the group. That might be his seat, and the Ultron sentries are just created by Reed Richards. So they finally revealed the truth that during their Infinity War conflict with Thanos, 838 Stephen used the Darkhold to try to find a solution in the multiverse, but in doing so, accidentally caused an incursion that killed everyone in that alternate universe. Now, Reed does say that 838 Stephen never told them the details, so there's probably more to that backstory. Now, Charles used his telepathy to, thank goodness, show, not tell, taking us to the day they beat Thanos using the Book of
Why the
Ashanti.
fuck was he on a battlefield though?
Yikes! His double-bladed Uru blade is broken and plunged into his chest. And importantly, his gauntlet does not yet have all the stones. We see the Power Stone, Space Stone, Reality Stone, and Soul Stones, but the Mind Stone is missing, which tells us that Vision may still be alive in 838. 838 Strange's fingertips are black, showing the devil's corruption on his soul, just like we saw on the fingers of Wanda and Agatha. Black Bolt whispers, "I'm sorry." And I like how his
Yeah, that
voice
shit was
goes
hard,
louder and
bro.
louder, with
That
parts
shit
of
was
Malcolm
hard,
in
bro.
multiple
Cause
versions of the same.
look, I didn't watch the Inhumans, bro. I didn't watch the Inhumans. I didn't even watch the Netflix shows, but like, you know, I've seen clips here and there. I ain't seen no clips of Inhumans though. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Niggas said that shit was dog shit. So I ain't seen no clips of that. That shit was crazy. Blew that nigga away.
Wanda uses the Darkhold Temple to dreamwalk into 838, Wanda's house. I like that little detail of her knocking over the dominoes. But this also confirms to us that in the 838 dimension, Wanda had that perfect life with Billy and Tommy. So the Mind Stone being missing from Thanos'
what about Vision though?
Vision's survival might have been the key difference there. So this
that's
possessed
true.
Wanda attacks the Baxter Foundation, and Charles tells Stephen to get to the Book of Ashanti, and he says, "Just because someone stumbles and loses their way doesn't mean they're lost forever." Which is a direct quote from 2014's X-Men Days of Future Past.
Oh, really?
Charles said this line to his younger self.
Oh.
Just because someone stumbles, loses their way, it doesn't mean they're lost forever.
Now that movie ended with Charles in his first hover chair we saw in live action film. So who knows, maybe that restored timeline from Days of Future Past didn't lead to Logan, it could have led to this. And then after finishing off the Ultrons, Wanda marches in, covered in their oil like it is blood. Recalling that dark moment in Age of Ultron when she ripped out Ultron's heart and just let it bleed that oil. The oil streaks on her face totally evokes Sissy Spacek and Carrie, which totally influences the bloodbath Wanda.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Her hand bursts out of the darkness later in her mind, reminding us of Brian De Palma's final shot in that movie. Reed says that he has children of his own and that their mother is alive, referring to Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman, and her
Shit,
children,
not now,
Franklin
nigga.
Richards and Valeria Richards, and confirming that lineage that will one day lead to Nathaniel Richards. Kang. Wanda erases Black Bolt's mouth like Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman, and their children, Franklin Richards and Valeria Richards, and confirming that lineage that will one day lead to Nathaniel Richards. Kang. Wanda erases Black Bolt's mouth like Neo in The Matrix, and folks, this is the most horrific death we have seen in the MCU. And I hate to do this, but we gotta go through it here. Because think about it, Black Bolt does not have to scream. The guy spends most of his time not at all using his vocal cords, but it's just the panic of his mouth being erased that rattles him to his core. So he ends up making the worst possible mistake.
Making sound,
That scream ricochets around his jaw. You can see it glowing on the other side of his skin until it amplifies and goes back into his brain.
Damn.
Blowing out of his nose.
That shit was, that's kind of horrific though. I see y'all niggas, Marv. I see y'all.
And then brains oozing out the side as his tuning fork flickers out. God almighty. Then Reed makes the mistake of attacking, and Wanda unravels his elastic body into ribbons and then pops his head like a piñata.
That's
then
crazy.
Peggy and Maria jump in, Peggy using jetpack thrusters that she presumably got from Reed. Peggy spits out some blood and then quotes Cap's iconic line of, "I can do this all day," but then poor Peggy gets severed at the midsection by her own shield.
Chopped in half, boy.
Closely, after that shield goes through, Peggy is still initially in one piece, but as the camera refocuses on the shield in the foreground, her blurry form in the background slumps forward, but in two halves. Then Wanda collapses a statue on Maria. At least for Maria, it can be an open coffin. I mean, each of these four actors must have been directed on how to emote their own deaths, but there is no way all these actors were on set with each other or told how each other would die, because they should be screaming in horror. Otherwise, these four must be pretty desensitized to people dying this way. Charles enters Wanda's mind, depicted as a white void where he's able to walk. He wears a black turtleneck, and beyond that door is a pile of rubble, including a TV set playing the intro to WandaVision Episode 1. Air sirens raid in. This rebel's clearly the rebel that Wanda and Pietro were buried under in Sokovia when Stark warhead landed in their home, but the Scarlet Witch's red cloud closes in and she snaps his neck.
That shit was, bro. Her ass came out of. I knew it. Yeah, bro.
Now, all these
That's
Marvel
crazy,
heroes
bro.
coming together to try to stop the Scarlet Witch, who does not care who she hurts as she tries
Beat
to
them niggas' ass.
Plot points inspired directly by the House of M comic event, but whereas that story goes deeper and deeper into X-Men lore, makes some major moves on whether or not they even exist in reality, this movie's connections to mutant kind stop right here. So strange American Christine flee as Wanda chases them, her eyes glowing red, looking a lot like her zombie form from those episodes of What If. They find the hatch, the waypoint to the Book of Ashanti, but it is locked, requiring a special key, Strange's wristwatch given to him by Christine. Another absolute element shared by all Stranges. So they get to the Book of Ashanti and they got...
Bro, and that scene when they was chasing them though, and then they had stopped. I'm like, nigga, why are you stopping? Just because you thought she stopped chasing you? Then she pops up out of nowhere. That shit was scary, bro.
Junction, but Wanda attacks, and a page from the book burns out, showing a star if you look closely. So remember, the Dark
You may be a star.
This book shows America Chavez's symbol, proof that the girl was destined to be the perfect antidote to the dark sorcery of the Scarlet Witch. And Strange sees
Kind of lame though,
burn,
but
which is how he knows what to tell America in that final act. Strange and Christine get banished to a post-incursion universe, which slowly melts. That melting looking a lot like the way reality eroded in What If Episode 4 after Strange broke an absolute point. And they pass a floating honey beige 1973 Oldsmobile Delta 88. The same car Sam Raimi puts in all of his movies. It was Uncle Ben's car in the Spider-Man movies,
Uncle
in the
Ben!
Evil Dead series, and in Drag Me to Hell. Now you'll notice this incursion universe has two red streaks racing through it, the same color as
the Flash, nigga?
crescent shape beyond the Sanctum stairway. Now, kids, what are crescents? Crescents, of course, are formed by the shadow of the Earth on the moon from the light of the sun behind us. So I wonder if this crescent could be this dead world's shadow being cast on the other world that collided into it. Maybe Earth 838, the reality of 838 Strange that collided into this universe, the dimension of Sinister Strange. That could have been the unseen annihilation.
You had inadvertently triggered an incursion. You are a friend that caused annihilation of another universe. Everyone in that reality died. Everyone. Damn.
That the Illuminati referred to. 838 Strange might have used the Darkhold to dreamwalk to Sinister Strange, and Sinister Strange tried to cast him out, and that war between the two dragged their worlds together in a way that killed everyone in Sinister Strange's universe. That could have been the war that he lost, that he was talking about. And the guilt over winning that war might have been what 838 Strange confessed to the rest of the Illuminati. And now these two streaks might represent the lifelines of those two universes, synced, forever parallel, but never touching, yet still way too close. I mean, the creepiest detail about this place is the fact that a freaking field of bones stretches in front of the sanctum. Everyone in this reality died from an incursion, but no human remains are visible anywhere else. That means that these unfortunate souls of this universe fled to the sanctum, looking for sanctuary, begging this Strange to save him, and he watched as they died. Strange brings up their dead sister Donna, whom he says fell in the ice when they were kids. In the comics, Donna drowned after getting a cramp in a swimming pool. Sinister Strange reveals a third...
You mean to tell me your sister died by having a cramp in a swimming pool, my nigga? Really, my nigga? She got a cramp by dying in a swimming pool, bro?
Third eye on his forehead. Now, Strange sometimes has the third eye in the comics as a manifestation of the Eye of Agamotto, a way of showing the mystical sight that the Ancient One referred to when she touched this spot on his head. Open your eyes. But in this case, the third eye represents the twisted evil of the Darkhold, the curse of Cthulhu living on. These two Stranges duel. Sinister Strange's sorcery is purple, the same color of Agatha's magic, the color of the Dark Dimension in Dormammu, which is something that's going to play a very big role as Dormammu's niece, Clea, shows up in the post-credit scene.
Damn, she looks. Damn, Charlize Theron was bad. Same color as purple from Runaways too. Yeah.
Making that same horror music sting that up until now in this movie has meant fear, but instead now he weaponizes the fear to lift the music notes off the page, each note making the same note it would if you were to play it on the piano.
That shit was hard.
This music duels so much. Sinister Strange blocks the notes by conjuring the 5 lines of a scale, which is
that's hard.
would contain notes, and sheet music, and forming a new arrangement which plays as Johann Sebastian Bach's famous organ chords. Strange launches Sinister Strange out the window, impaling him on the fence like Saruman. But the third eye still opens because the evil lives. So Strange now uses the Darkhold to dreamwalk into the one Strange still left in 616, the buried Defender Strange, resurrecting the corpse. Now remember, earlier, Wong told Wanda that no sorcerer can pass the barrier to Wundagore Temple. So those souls of the damned that attack Defender Strange are not just an obstacle. Using them by turning them into a new cloak is literally the only way Strange could fly over there. This is just a really smart example of what screenwriters call economy of story. Repurposing story elements we thought were just set dressing or characterization or raised stakes, like the Defender Strange corpse, the watch, Strange seeing a star page in the Book of Ashanti, these souls of the damned, and instead giving them new practical functions for the hero to advance. So when a bunch of nerds in your movie theater started applauding in this moment, going, yes! It isn't just because we love Sam Raimi's zombie shit. I mean, we do. It's because this moment was a culmination of all these seeds that were planted throughout the movie. Now, when the souls of the damned attacked Christine, she banishes them with the Great Mirror of Bomb Goliath, the same artifact Strange tried to use on Caecilius in the 2016 film.
You don't know how to use that, do you?
Yeah, so Caecilius hesitated. That thing could have banished him to hell. Strange arrives with the damned soul cape, and Wanda says, "Dreamwalking, you hypocrite!" The same thing Caecilius shouted at the Ancient One when she used Dark Dimension magic.
Hypocrite!
Now, realizing America's power is needed to beat Wanda, Strange repeats,
This is the only way.
So once again, we have looped back to the opening scene. A Defender Strange must once again face this moral quandary of sacrificing America. This time, though, America accepts her fate. So why does Strange now make a different choice? What has changed? What makes this Strange different? Well, this Strange trusts America to control her own power because every portal she opened in this film has brought them to where they needed to go. Remember, this is the same Strange who looked at 14,605 paths and found the one correct path for his life. And so, unlike all the other Stranges who are always seeking a better life, including 838 Strange, who looked in a different universe for one, our Strange finally realizes he has gratitude for the path that he is on. Because, folks, the true ideal of America is not the pursuit of happiness, it's gratitude for what we have. So America punches Wanda first into hell. I love that. That's where she thinks she needs to go. But America...
Why she called America Chavez if she wasn't even born in America?
...learns that the better destination for Wanda...
She's in a whole different dimension.
...the woman what she wants, her Westview home, where her son...
That was smart, I ain't gonna lie to you. And like, bro, when I left the theater, somebody said he didn't like it because, yeah, because I guess he wanted Doctor Strange and Wanda to fight, but then I was like, I mean, if you think about it, bro, Doctor Strange is not beating Wanda ass, bro. That nigga don't stand a fucking chance. Nah, bro. If it ain't Doctor Strange from the What If, bro, don't stand a ghost of a chance. I'm too dark for the mental. She too dark for the mental. Like a Pokemon, I bet your skills are a rental. Huh? Let me chill out. But yeah, so the only way to beat Wanda was to make Wanda beat Wanda, cause y'all weren't beating her, nigga. She pulled up in a whole nother dimension with a weaker body, dreamwalked into the Illuminati and killed all them niggas. No difficulty. You had to make Wanda beat herself, so I'm really mad at that.
Now, based on the other Wanda's bruises, this is actually 838, the same Wanda that she possessed earlier. And
right.
now on the TV is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Remember, in the Alt universe, there was an Alt universe Walt Disney short starring Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, but in this one, it's the iconic Walt Disney first feature-length animated film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Also, remember, a story with an evil witch queen that haunted me as a little kid. So these poor boys are on pins and needles about an evil witch queen coming in through a portal into their living room. And despite being possessed into doing horrible things, this other Wanda forgives the Scarlet Witch, assuring her that these boys will be loved, telling the mother what she needs to hear. And so Wanda collapses the temple on herself, and she destroys the Darkholds in every reality. And while it seems like 616 Wanda may be dead, we do
She's
still
not
have this
fucking
other
dead. Stop
Wanda
it.
who was there for all the craziest shit that happened in this movie. A Wanda who, remember, shares this 838 reality with mutants, with the Fantastic Four. So some version of the House of M, no more mutants moment may be on the way in the MCU. In the final scenes of this movie, Strange gets closure with Christine. He leaves America in training at Camartage and finally gives Sorcerer Supreme Wong the bow he deserves. And most importantly, he finally fixes the broken watch. The camera transitioning from the broken lens to clarity. But that clear vision proves itself a curse in the final shot of the film. The man is seeing too well with 3 eyes.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of anticlimactic. I don't know, it was kind of weird because I thought he was about to wrap it up, but like talking to Christine, not necessarily, not necessarily getting her back, but like him talking to Christine or some shit like that, or you know, like a TVA post credit scene, some shit like that. Like that last post credit scene with the you know what I'm talking about, bro. That shit was worse than the Captain America one. Because at least with with Homecoming, it was Captain America at the end. At least it was. You gotta see Chris Evans. He looks nice. The second post credit scene of this was ass, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, I know it was weird because like, everything was fine. Then the nigga just started fucking yelling. I'm like, what the fuck going on? Then a third eye popped up. I don't know. I kind of didn't like the way this shit was shot, but
as the curse of the Darkhold lives on, it's a scarlet letter for his sins and a new unhealable wound for the surgeon to suffer.
That shit ugly as fuck.
Post-credit scenes in another video, and we got lots of Multiverse of Madness videos coming down the pipeline. So subscribe for more takes on this insane film. And hey, if you live in the San Francisco Bay Area, I'm back performing comedy live with In Games Improv at the Stageworks Theater, 446 Valencia Street in the Mission. My first show coming Saturday, May 14th. Then after that, every other Saturday at the same space. Come hang out with me. It'll be fun. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EAVoss. Follow New Rockstars and subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I will do the post-credit scenes, but don't really care that much. Unless the nigga mention Runaways. If he mentioned Runaways in the post-credit scene, y'all niggas let me know. I might watch the shit. Other than that, yeah, don't really give a rat's ass. So, hey, it's gonna wrap it up for that, man. Hey, like I said, that movie was a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And it was just because of Wanda. But, you know, Doctor Strange didn't take anything away. I just thought, when I went to go see the movie, even after my friend told me the shit was trash, I wasn't going in there to see Doctor Strange. I was going there to see Wanda and the cameos, nigga. I love cameos. I'm a cameo type guy. I love seeing team ups and shit on screen with heroes from different shits or whatever. That's probably why like a lot of my favorite MCU movies are the Avengers movies, pretty much. My number one is Civil War. It's my number one. No Way Home gotta be number 2. Infinity War number 3. And then Black Panther my number 4. This gotta be my number 5. Not gonna lie to you. MCU history. I think gotta be my number 5. Black Panther gotta have Black Panther number 4. Come on, man. Fuck wrong with you, nigga. But yeah, so bro, this shit was fire, bro. And like I just thought I thought we were gonna see a lot more cameos. I thought we were gonna see a Deadpool cameo. I was gonna see a little more of the older like Ghost Rider, like the old Avengers, nigga. The old Avengers. What you talking for the MCU and shit, Blade and them. So yeah, the 7C, the 7C had to been Tony, but I don't know, man. I don't know where the rest of the shit can lead. I mean, the next Doctor Strange movie, that shit ain't gonna happen for another 6 years anyway. But hey, I need Nico Doctor Strange 3. Come on, man, we gotta make it work. But they tell me they got her series in development, bro. I just need the word that is Lyrical Kano back as Nico, and hey, I'm Gucci, bro. That's telling me all I need to know. Fuck you talking about. But that's all I say about J. You guys can post your comments down below too. You guys start, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe because I upload every single week. So once again, subscribe because either you a dragon or you a bitch.
Watch the boys. She give me head, Modoc, none. Her eyes like a bitch, man, Murdoch. Put a share hot some Moglocks. Something walk, I was cool off the Murloc. I be doing what these niggas cannot. I am really him, but that nigga he not. Cause in Brentwood, I do not know what he thought. Think it's over how he's still in the re-rock. Reppin' the seeking deceased. I see swatting, had to get off the leash. Now Chris and babies say 10 and now I'm